Welcome back to the Middle-Aged Outlaws podcast. Adam, do you know what I really wanted to call you?
What?
What is the Mascarito character called?
Oh.
The little guy called from in Lucha Mascarito.
Oh,
Sagrada. I really wanted to call him Mascarito Sangradum. It's not that snappy. Anyway, Mascarito Sangradum. Whilst everyone is getting excited about iShow Speed being hit by a car in the Royal Rumble and Jey Uso yeeting 29 other men over the top rope, we're still sat here hanging around the bustling streets of Boyle Heights, waiting for Dario Cueto to open the doors of his temple and let us back in. Let us back in, he has, Adam.
He has.
For episodes 5 to 8 of Season 1 of Lucha Underground, which we'll be discussing today. How's it going?
Yeah, feeling middle-aged as ever. What about you?
Brilliant. Yeah, same.
Nice.
Yeah. So, sleep is overrated, as they say. So, yeah, I am. We're back in the temple. We're back, and along with Season 1 of Lucha Underground, I tentatively asked you if you thought that we'll see out. Having looked, I was looking on IMDb and looking to see actually how many episodes there are. To see that there was 39 is, these days if I start a season it must have like 10 episodes or less, otherwise I'm out. To see that I had 39 episodes, I was very concerned to message you to say, do you think we'll see out season 1? But you said, hopefully it's looking that way, or it's...
Yeah, there hasn't been anything that's made me say yet. No, stop. This is done. We're finished. But and hopefully that won't happen, because I think you assured me that it's going to really start stepping up pretty soon.
Yazoo said the only way is up, and that's what I've heard. After episode 8, there's only 30 more episodes after that, so I've heard good things. Okay. And I've enjoyed what we've done so far.
Yeah.
We've got the most muscle-bound man that I've ever seen in jeans to come into Cage, that we keep getting these segments for. Have you ever seen him before?
Yeah, but only I've never seen him perform. I think he was a talking head on a Dark Side of the Ring or something like that.
Brian Cage, was he? I think you're right.
I think he was.
I want to say he was on Bam Bam Bigelow one. Maybe
right.
It could have been.
Yeah.
He wrestles in AEW. He's just huge. He's just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He does not scream luchador.
No.
But you've enjoyed. So what's that we've done now? Up to 8 episodes.
Yeah.
A nice, consistent story.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously got the overarching story with Dario and his sort of control of this group that he's set up and what he wants it to be, and then the group with Big Ryck and his pals, and then we've had Johnny and Puma sort of establish themselves as kind of the guys that are going to be challenging for eyeballs most of the time, and then Conan lurking in the background. I think what we talked about early on was kind of wanting to get to a point where we felt like we had a relatively stable group that were focusing on of wrestlers, and it does feel like it's taking steps towards that. It's there are new ones coming in and appearing, but it's not constant. It's bits and pieces as we go through the next few shows.
Yeah, and it's not conveyor belt either. It's not like we're losing people as a result of bringing people in, which was concerning, I think. But yeah, okay. So shall we go for it? We'll talk through these episodes. Yeah. I liked your likes and dislikes that we did last time. So if you're up for doing that, we could do that.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so episode 5 was titled Boyle Heights Street Fight, and we kicked off with Conan in Dario Cueto's office. He wanted a match between Prince Puma and Big Ryck tonight. A street fight where anything goes. And Dario says, look, that's fine, but I don't control Cortez and Cisco. I think Conan was getting on at him about these guys. He's, look, they're Big Rycks. So
yeah, I thought it was quite a nice little wrinkle, just putting that in there, that much as these seem like hired guns, these guys, they're not necessarily all hired by Dario. This is Big Ryck's guys.
But didn't he say on like episode 1, these guys work for me?
Maybe a consistency issue there.
Okay, so we start off in the ring. See that Melissa Santos that does the announcing? She's worked for WWE, isn't she?
Is she? I'm not sure. I don't think I recognise her. And she, her voice is a bit different compared to what I associate with WWE announcing. But I suppose maybe the words and delivery would be different, given the situation. But yeah, very possibly.
So the following Lucha, I love the following Lucha scheduled for 1-4. We have Drago taking on our new boy, our fully adopted boy, Mil Muertes, with Katarina. Very concerned that the person playing Katarina changed a texture to say, but after a bit of investigation, apparently not, it's still the same one, so we're all good.
Yeah.
Drago versus Mil Muertes. I'm still on the fence with Drago. I still don't like the spit and tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably at this point I was on the fence still with Mil Muertes.
Yeah.
But this was just absolute destruction from our boy.
Yeah. He's. We talked about it before. He's pretty built. He is a muscular guy for a luchador for this environment. He stands out because of the build he's got. And they sort of they're trying to give you a bit of a story of a match here. It's out and out power and strength against speed and agility here, and that's a story that with his build, Mil Muertes can tell in the majority of matches he's going to have. You would think.
Yeah. He a little wrinkle to this match as well as King Cuerno, who's had this sort of back and forth with Drago since he debuted. He is sat on top of Dario Cueto's office watching things as they go on.
Yeah.
Not Conan, Vampiro and Matt Striker, they're talking about this sort of hunter gimmick and all that sort of stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
The way that this one ends is great. Drago is coming off. Do you know what's funny? Like, normally at that sort of spot, he comes off the top rope and Mil Muertes spears him as he's coming off the top rope. Normally that would look like he was doing like a sort of flying nothing. I can imagine seeing that in WWE, sort of flying nothing, but it doesn't look like that. It's just probably because he's so small and Muertes is so big, it looks like he is coming for him. He just goes through him all the way to the mat. And they've done a good job of getting his finishing move, I think they maybe call it flatliner.
Yeah.
Getting that over as well, just because he's so successful. I think he's undefeated, and he's pretty much destroyed everyone he's wrestled. So Mil Muertes gets the win. Does Drago get the lick?
Yes,
he gets the lick, and then Cuerno comes in the ring and hits him with his finishing move as well.
Yeah, so
overkill.
So Drago beat King Cuerno the previous week, is that right?
Yes,
I think, and so King Cuerno not very happy about that, doing a bit of stalking, but yeah, he was very much picking at the scraps. There couldn't be much triumph in that.
That's right, because King Cuerno debuted, but they still had Drago defeat him in a pretty tight, back and forth type match. So.
Yeah.
Our next match is Son of Havoc with Ivelisse taking on your boy Mascarita Sagrada. I've got very little notes on this one, apart from a woman coming out at one point from the crowd in like sort of leather get-up and seeing what's going on. Vampiro getting incredibly excited, and Son of Havoc wins, which I'm actually surprised about.
Yeah, was this the first? This was the first time we'd seen that woman in the crowd. Yeah, Because there's a bit of sort of early mockery of Son of Havoc. He's been in the ring up against a woman, and did he lose that match? No, he won that match, but I think he got slightly humiliated. I think, and now he's in against, I think, what they term as a mini.
I think so.
Yeah. And there's a bit of frustration building with Son of Havoc, maybe feeling like not being taken too seriously right now.
I thought this Son of Havoc guy was a bit of a jobber the first time we saw him. And then later on, in one of the future episodes in the 10-man Battle Royal or whatever, and he's doing like mental dives over the top rope and everything as well. He's clearly capable.
Yeah.
So yeah, Son of Havoc gets his win. I have next up Sexy Starr taking on Chavo.
Yep.
Yeah. This would follow on from Sexy. This would be Sexy Starr making her return after Chavo having probably taken a couple of vertebrae out of her neck with a steel chair.
Yeah. Because I think they're selling that a wee bit, that she's maybe still not quite 100%, but she wants this fight.
Yep. And she's given it all like full heart and I can do it sort of behaviour. Chavo's just turned the corner. He's just full vicious, angry. He's just despicable, and I love it. He's great like this.
So much more entertaining than when he just came across a wee bit pathetic, right, on his debut. But you can now see why that was all worth it.
Yeah. He's doing his best to humiliate Sexy Starr. He's just like kicking her over. He's got to hold her in the corner. I think he tries to kiss her.
Yeah.
Gives her the opportunity to fire back. She does a few different moves. She goes to grab a chair, and this results. She kicks the ref right between the legs. The ref's going to try to say her no. She kicks him. So she's got full rage on, which she can understand given what Chavo's done to her.
Yep.
She is going to swing it. Pentagon appears out of nowhere and grabs the chair from her, and he looks like he's going to help her, but he clearly doesn't. He's looks like he's going to hit Sexy Starr, and Fenix comes from again out of nowhere to help out, and they clear the ring of Pentagon and Chavo.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny they do this sort of good job of keeping everybody together in their little it's not even storylines, I wouldn't say, but like where Phoenix is, you get Pentagon, where Sexy Starr is, you get Chavo, but they're also like doing other stuff as well. For such a small show and a 40-minute thing, they do a really good job of that, I think.
Yeah, because you would think in this environment that's actually really hard to do. I suppose the temptation would be to just have everyone focused on their direct rival at that moment in time. But yeah, they're mixing things up a bit.
Yeah. Our main event is the street fight, which Conan had set up at the start. So this is Prince Puma taking on Big Ryck, which is one hell of a mismatch. Certainly in size, anyway. And as it starts, Big Ryck is just beating the shit out of little Prince Puma, kicking him about all over the place.
Yeah, it's we've sort of seen enough about what Prince Puma is going to be, in that, you know, he won't quit, he just keeps going, and there's something, I found myself laughing and thinking laughing's a bit harsh, because every time he seemed to be having a little moment, Ryck just destroyed him.
Yeah, it's like swatting a fly away sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was part of me thinking halfway through this match, because Cortez and Cisco get involved as well, and it's almost like a 3-on-1. Well, it is a 3-on-1, and I was thinking, is this Conan's way? Did he set up this match to punish Prince Puma?
Yeah, because, I mean, if he didn't, he was a bit stupid in setting up this match as a street fight where, you know, Big Ryck could get his guys involved. So yeah, maybe you're onto something there.
Because eventually I think we do we get Johnny Mundo? He ends up coming flying off at Dario's office roof, and helps out. He does a funny thing. I thought he was going to dive off the roof and hit Ryck, but he dives off the roof and lands next to him, does a forward roll, and then attacks him. Big Ryck just has to do like the sort of bear, like, you know, like a big sort of daft bear thing. Like,
maybe didn't quite come off as planned through that one.
We get Johnny Mundo going to hit Big Ryck with the chair, but he ends up hitting Puma. Puts a bit of a rift in between these two, and Ryck does away with Mundo and puts Puma through the table. Does he powerbomb through the table? Or is it that sort of a standing rock bottom type thing he does?
It's that kind of move, yeah.
Pretty effective, that. I like that.
Yeah.
And he gets the win.
Vampiro was going big on blaming Johnny for everything that happened to Puma there, even though obviously he tried to make the save. Didn't look to be anything sinister in it.
Nah. Vampiro's funny, isn't he? He's just like...
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll say stuff about Chavo and you're like, man's a snake, and but then he's like, I love it.
It's like he's sitting there and thinking, I'm going to try and be professional here as a broadcaster, and then he's like, I've got these heel tendencies and I just love when guys are doing stuff like that.
What do you like from this episode, and did you have any dislikes?
So I was liking the continuity, the fact that it does feel like we're working with quite an established group, because that's easier for the likes of myself to try and actually learn a little bit about who everyone is and remember that, because I think everyone that was featured on this show had been on previous ones.
Nice.
I liked what you were talking about them, sort of a little bit of crossover with storylines just to stop things, needing to get to a conclusion too quickly. Because if, like we're talking about Sexy Starr and Chavo and Pentagon and Fenix, and if you're keeping them just rivaling each other, you kind of have to get to a conclusion pretty quickly. But you can draw things out a little bit more. I didn't really have many dislikes from this episode. I don't think I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Nice. Do you know, it's just occurred to me that we're not we're not obviously building towards a pay-per-view or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's quite refreshing that it's just week to week and things are just continuing, or like things are like Big Ryck versus Prince Puma. There is they built it into the street fight, but it's not done. But we're also not building to SummerSlam where it's going to be a blow off or anything like that.
We don't look and think, okay, we've got 4 more weeks of this and then there's going to be the blow off, because we just don't know. We don't know when things are going to come to a final head and everyone's going to move on to the next thing.
Quite refreshing.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 6 is called The Key. It's quite a key. What do you think he's keys for?
So I was thinking, when I first saw it, I thought, is it just like there'll be like something in his office? There'll be like a safe or, some locked door in there or something like that. But I don't know. Did you have any thoughts?
I think he's probably got the key to some thing that, like a chest or like a coffin or something, and he's going to have some big mad mental luchador inside it that he's nothing's got bad enough yet that he's had to break it out.
This is very much break in case of emergency type situation. Okay.
I feel like Dario's got that in him to have something that, some sort of mummified
something
dead luchador.
Something even Big Ryck is going to be scared of.
Yeah, because he's so bolshy, Dario. Like, he's sitting there with a guy like 4 times his size, and he's being like so slimy and cheeky with him. And that.
I remember thinking right at the start, I think one of the early episodes, he basically had guaranteed Big Ryck something, then he seemed to switch it round to, you have to earn it by winning this match. And I was thinking, I'm not sure you want to be messing with Big Ryck here.
No. Big Ryck's unbelievable. So we kick off again in the office of Dario Cueto. He's with Big Ryck this time. So I was going to say but he's not. Big Ryck I think they're toasting with champagne or something like that, are they? He signed a contract to work exclusively for Dario and Lucha Underground, so they're both toasting to that.
Yeah.
In the ring, we have Son of Havoc and Ivelisse, and Ivelisse is addressing what you raised, that Son of Havoc is being presented as a bit of a joke. and she says that he's wrestled a woman, and I was kind of thinking, but you're a woman. The way she says it is like she's got a bad taste in her mouth, and then she says, and he wrestled half a man as well. So Son of Havoc issues an open challenge to anyone who wants to come wrestle him man to man, and the way that he was saying man to man, you knew that he was not getting. Well, he gets a man, but we get this. What's the word you've used it before? And they used to use it to describe Goldust. What is the
androgynous?
Androgynous. That's the word.
I've said maybe a bit of an Adrian Adonis throwback type situation on the go here. Yeah.
His name. I was going to say his name was a Scarlet Pimpernel, but that is absolutely not what his name. His name is Pimpinella Escarlata.
Yeah.
I've wrote that he's the Spanish Camp Grado. Do you think that's?
Yeah. I didn't really.
And then underneath I've wrote, I feel like I'm watching Mae Young wrestle.
Do you know, like, see if it's just the entrance or something like that. It's fine. I'm going to be able to, get myself fully in the match. But the way he was running the ropes,
yeah,
I was like, oh,
it's weird. It's like uncomfortably watching like somebody that's too old to be in the ring and certainly wearing a singlet.
Mm-hmm.
But then also like he's bouncing on the top ropes and doing like these arm drags and that. And it's like, wow, that's really athletic.
Yeah.
It was very bizarre to watch. I think things like this are fine, and I think being there, watching stuff like that must be great fun.
Yeah.
But this match was on for far too long.
It did go on a while. Yeah. I think did Pimpinella legit hurt his shoulder, do you think? Because there seemed to be, I didn't know, like I couldn't think if it was just selling from a specific spot, but I didn't know if that influenced the match as well, because it seemed pretty limited from a certain point onwards.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Maybe I got distracted by your boy Mascarito Sagrado turning up, and was he like menacing Ivelisse?
Yeah. Who was?
I wish I could see his face. I think the fact that that he's wearing a mask makes him more like cheeky.
Okay. Yeah.
I do quite like him. Pimpinella gets the roll up and wins.
Yeah.
And we continue the sort of joke character that is Son of Havoc.
Yeah.
Okay, next we had Dario Cueto taking a leak in the temple toilets. You can't go anywhere in this place without getting threatened or beat up.
Yep.
Johnny Mundo comes in and threatens to kick his ass. He's looking for his 100. That's the whole sort of beef, isn't it?
He wants his money.
Very first episode, he beat Prince Puma for $100,000. And Dario Cueto didn't pay him.
Yeah.
Johnny wants his money, wants paid. Dario Cueto says, "You will get that. I promise you'll get it." But Johnny takes Dario's key for insurance.
And Dario is very unsettled, losing control of that key.
For his mummified corpse of the original Mil Muertes. Talking of which, Mil Muertes absolutely destroys somebody called Famous B.
Yeah.
In another match reminiscent of every squash match that he's had so far.
It was brief. Yeah.
Yep, I think that this is the story, no storyline, but the character that's most reminiscent of classic wrestling. Certainly of like, some of the stuff we were watching 93, 94, where guy destroys Jobber every week to make it look like he's this absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
And for me, it's working as the weeks have went on. I really like Mil Muertes, and they've shown what he can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And poor Famous B gets the lick of Katarina, and that's him marked as well. I'd take a spear off him, like.
I mean, it was clearly going to be the highlight of his night, because the rest of it was pretty brutal.
Fair, absolutely fair. Okay, we have got Drago and King Cuerno back in the ring. Is that right? They fighting each other?
Ah,
I had thought that Drago was fighting someone else.
and King Cuerno
And King Cuerno's on
was
the office. What?
spying. But yeah, I've got it Drago versus King Cuerno as
Oh,
well.
right, okay. I've got here that Drago must be pretty close to the limit for the minis. Sometimes when you see him, he does look quite small.
Yeah.
Clearly, I've not been that engaged in the match because that is. I've got notes about that. I've got notes about Vampiro talking about how hot this woman is that keeps appearing in the crowd. She's just. What do you think her deal is? She keeps appearing.
Yeah, is it always been during any one specific match? Has it always been when either of these guys have been in?
I don't think so.
Has it
no.
been a bit more random than that?
Let's have a look because I think last match was Son of Havoc versus Mascarito Sagrada. I thought it was always Drago's matches, but it's clearly not.
So
no.
yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. I'm not sure.
A lot of diving over the top rope, a lot of high-paced action. I quite like King Cuerno. I like the way that he moves about the ring and some of the stuff that he does. But yeah, not an awful lot to say about this one. You?
Yeah, so like you say, some moves. There's a couple of suicide dives. There's a moment that I liked because I hadn't really seen it in this before until now, where I think it's King Cuerno basically tries to get some separation while Drago's on a roll by getting the ref in front of him. I thought,
nice.
Yeah, that's a classic maneuver. But yeah, I think there's did they call the move Thrill of the Hunt by King Cuerno?
That finishing move.
Yeah, for the win, which puts these guys at one each.
Okay, we have Johnny Mundo in the ring. He's got Dario's key, and he is interrupted by Big Ryck. This is like sort of messy sort of segment. Big Ryck interrupts him. Johnny attacks him. I think Conan interrupts and says that Johnny Mundo owes Prince Puma that $100,000 that he keeps complaining about. Big Ryck jumps Johnny Mundo whilst this is all happening. Prince Puma comes running out, and Big Ryck takes off. And I was quite confused by this. Then these two just sort of start fighting each other like out of pure, and it looks like pure anger.
It was a bit odd. Like you say, it was a little bit of a mess of a segment because I thought, okay, I see where they're going here, where Prince Puma is defying Conan and he's siding with Johnny Mundo, and then they just start leathering each other, and it's like, oh, right, okay.
But then when you link it back to last week, Prince Puma got taken out by Johnny Mundo with a chair, inadvertently. So it's a bit odd because Prince Puma did come out to help him, I think.
Yeah, he did. So I think this is where we hear about the briefcase, the 100k, because Dario comes out and says he's got 100k in the briefcase. He says it's Big Ryck's bonus, but he has to earn it, and he'll hang the case from the rafters. There will be a 3-way ladder match for 100k next week.
Beautiful. I love the way Dario announces stuff. So, like, emphatic. Ladder match! So our main event of this episode is going to be Sexy Starr and Fenix tagging against Chavo and Penta, which seems rather one-sided. Poor Fenix. No offence to Sexy Starr fans out there. The Sexy Maniacs? That's about to be a punk band or something.
Let's hang fire on that one.
Okay. I got a little bit lost in this match. I forgot to write notes. I think I was enjoying it quite a lot. Chavo definitely trying to be vicious. And,
they isolate Sexy Starr.
They do, yeah. They are sort of moving Penta towards the dark side, I think. As far as certainly him aligning with Chavo, but also like being a little bit of a nasty bastard as well. You get some crazy stuff going on between Fenix and Penta especially.
there was I don't know if it was Penta that delivered it, but there was a power bomb on Phoenix that I didn't like.
He did it with his. He did the power bomb into a backbreaker with the knee.
Yeah.
Oof!
That
How
just
do
looked
these
like
things no hurt?
injury waiting to happen. That one.
Yeah. Surprising. I thought. I think I texted you saying, well, I won't say what I said, but I hope Penta might defeat Sexy Starr. But I was very surprised that Sexy Starr got the pin on Penta. I'll take in a lot of credit for Phoenix's performance. It was old Sexy Starr, I think.
Yeah, because there's Phoenix basically hands her the win, doesn't he? He's double knees off the top and basically lets Sexy Starr take the pin while he blocks Chavo from getting in the ring to make the save.
Yeah. I'd quite like to see Chavo and Phoenix go. It'd be quite decent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's episodes 5 to 6. Did you have any likes and dislikes for this one?
I think this one, I felt it was a little bit muddled as a show. I'll leave Pimpinella out of it. I'm just not sure yet what my thoughts on Pimpinella are. I did like the Mil Muertes stuff, like you're talking about. This is proper old school style building a guy. He's going in there, he's wrecking folk. I think he must be one of very few guys that have won every match that we've seen them in so far. I quite like King Cuerno. I think I'm with you on that one. He's got something about him. I'm fine with the story about the key and what is it, because that's a bit of mystery and all that, and setting up the match for the 100 grand, because you can see why these competitors all feel like they have a claim to that. I'm still not sold on Sexy Starr being directly in this story with Chavo. I feel like that maybe should have moved on.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, he wrecked her. Yeah, and I think she got a roll up on him, and I think, I'm with you.
I feel like she's got enough back now for you to move on. I don't think it's in any way taking the situation away from her. To say, move on.
Do you feel like there's females? Do you feel like there's women lacking from in that? Like, is it? What am I trying to say? Are we so programmed that a woman should be attacking her and all that sort of stuff? Are you surprised that it's not more like Sexy Starr and Ivelisse? And
maybe, yeah. I mean, I suppose Ivelisse, I think has had a match. Did she have a match in one of the early shows? They had a match. Now, whether it is that Sexy Starr is deemed to be above the female competition that are there, that's probably likely. Because the only other women that we've really seen, I think, is Katarina, who's not a wrestler. She's very much been a sort of valet type role. You look for that section on the talent website. There's probably only one person there. You would hope.
Distributor. Well, I don't know. Drago's got that big black tongue as well. He needs to go and see a doctor about that.
Never actually seen him use it on anyone. I think it would just be Katarina and the Bushwhackers that would be in that section.
Oh, class. Okay, you want to take us to episode 7?
Yeah, so I think most episodes as we're going have a little bit of a recap with what's going on previous. So talk of the ladder match, a bit of talk about the fact that setup probably isn't going to suit Big Ryck as much as the other two, who are a bit more agile and mobile. We're into a match which is King Cuerno against Superfly, which I wouldn't have thought there would be another guy using that name. It's quite surprising to me. It's not the murderer. It's not Jimmy Snuka. It's a different guy. I got King Cuerno just absolutely beating the shit out of him.
Yep.
And then this is where we notice it actually. So Drago at this point is on the office watching this match while King Cuerno is having a match. So basically a reversal of what happened a couple of shows ago. We've got a big moonsault over the top by Superfly. He can fly. He definitely can fly. But Cuerno takes control back and actually executes his finisher while staring in the direction of Drago, which I liked.
That is so badass. That's brilliant. Especially when the guy looks like Drago. Like, he's pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
Love that.
We move on to, there's a sort of video package telling a bit of a Pentagon story.
I like that.
Yep.
It's good, that.
We've kind of had those scattered around the episodes. It'll be like a different person on each show, or I think there's maybe been 2 for Mil Muertes so far, but that's fine because you're just getting introduced to the character. But yeah, I think those bits and pieces help. Talk about him being trained in a variety of different fighting styles around the world and things like that. Yeah.
No explanation for why he looks like a cockroach, but I expect we'll get there.
Maybe that'll be the follow-up package.
What just total off to the side, what did you think of Penta and the Royal Rumble? I assume you've watched the Rumble.
I have watched the Rumble. They had him in quite a while, didn't they?
They did, aye.
Yeah.
It must have been a good 30, 40 minutes, I think he was in.
So it's usually a good sign that they're trusting someone and trying to get eyeballs on a person. How long has he been sort of
since
there?
Not the first week, because we watched the first Netflix one. He debuted on the second Netflix.
Oh, right, okay, so he's pretty new to the company. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I wouldn't say I'm overwhelmed with him in this environment that we're watching. He's fine, he's got some moves and all that, but in this environment of Lucha Underground, he doesn't really stand out, not yet, to me anyway. But I suppose in WWE, he probably will, more so anyway, because he's got a different look and different moveset and things like that.
Yep.
We go to Chavo versus Fenix. So Chavo has Pentagon in his corner and Fenix has Sexy Starr. And Fenix in control quite early on. There's some chants for Chavo.
Yes.
Some of the crowd are chanting for Chavo, which I was happy to hear.
I liked how again vicious Chavo was in this match, going after the legs.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense to go after, especially him, to go after his legs, because he's all aerial moves.
Yeah. Vampiro during this match goes fully back Team Chavo. He's totally on board. He's talking about how he's teaching the inexperienced Fenix a lesson and things like that. And yeah, he's wrapping the leg around the post, all that good stuff. And Fenix actually, I don't mean to sound surprised when I say it, but I'm just happy to see it. He's selling the leg. He's acknowledging some damage has been done to it, which I need to see. We've got Fenix coming off the top and Chavo beautifully catching him with a drop kick as he's on his way down.
Yes, Chavo.
And then there was something that struck me as a wee bit odd, because Fenix was on the ropes ready to do a move, but Sexy Starr seemed to have the ref tied up in the other corner, and I couldn't really tell if that was just supposed to look the way it did, or if there was something else supposed to be happening at the moment that she was supposed to be distracting the referee. But Chavo ends up stealing the win.
Yeah, I think doesn't Penta pull Fenix off the ropes?
Yep, and it's kind of all happens because the ref is being distracted by Sexy Starr.
Damn it, Sexy Starr.
So yeah, Chavo steals the win. Vampiro is very happy about this and accuses Fenix of having been showboating in the match.
There definitely is something a little bit there with Fenix, though. Everything about him's very showy-offy, with the bouncing up and down on the ropes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so Vampiro's maybe just thinking he's taken that too far. Sexy Starr says she's not done with Chavo, and he is coming back. He is coming back for you. And I was thinking, who's this? And then I thought, the speculation is it's the Blue Demon Jr. guy, who I never really got any. There wasn't enough there for me to feel invested in him at all. I just assumed Chavo's going to kick his ass when he does reappear.
Yes, that'd be good. Blue Demon, they seem to be making a big thing of him being like a big thing in Mexico and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And do you know, I was thinking, who was it said it to him? Conan said to Chavo, Mexico's coming for you. And they're not happy with what you've done, but nothing's come of that.
No, so maybe there'll be something coming.
And even Vampiro keeps mentioning it, so I am hopeful that is not like a little missed part of a story somewhere.
I did feel a wee bit for Phoenix when Sexy Star's doing her, mic work, because I thought he was just a pawn. Like, she's done with him now because he couldn't get the job done.
He used him up and spat him out. Disgusting behaviour.
And then we get, I think it's the package for, what was his name?
Cage.
Yeah. And at first I thought it's Christian, then I thought, no, it's not. It's not going to be Christian.
I don't think our captain would work in the tempo, unfortunately.
I don't think we would deal well with it if he did. If he showed up.
Just this introduction of Cage and just the size of him and how different he seems to look compared to everybody. I don't even know if I spoke about this the last time, but I feel like we're watching real life Mortal Kombat sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad thing at all. It's like entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they do with Cage.
It is interesting because there's certainly nobody that looks like that. We've talked about Mil Muertes being built compared to other guys, but he in a lot of other aspects he looks like a luchador. And we've got Johnny, who doesn't look like a luchador, but at times performs like one. Whereas I'm guessing Cage won't really be performing like one either.
Interesting. Although we've got Big Ryck. Suge Knight meets Kimbo Slices. That's my striker.
It's true. Still feels like a bit of an outlier, Big Ryck. So we've got the ladder match for the 100k, Big Ryck, Puma, and Johnny. Conan comes out with Prince Puma. I was thinking this is all good now. They're fine. Early stages, Johnny and Prince Puma are doubling Big Ryck, which makes sense. I think that's what you would do, even if there's a little bit of bad feeling between the two of them. We get this sudden just bit of history about a ladder match from Matt Striker.
Yeah. Talking about Calgary and all that.
It was. I was quite enjoying it. It's like, bring in the knowledge.
It's funny when he says stuff sometimes and Vampiro's like looking at him sort of thing, like, what? Like, how do you know all this stuff?
They said something like, you done your research or something like that.
It's great. I think they're such a good combination together. It
does work, yeah. Vampiro's talking about how he hated ladder matches. They weren't for him. He's constantly as well trying to talk up the beef between Johnny and Prince Puma. So, even if you as a viewer are thinking, we all know what happened was accidental and he had his back, that's the main thing, but he's trying to stoke the flames there as much as he possibly can. Big Ryck's quite problematic anytime somebody tries to climb the ladder, because basically they get up a few steps and they're just his height and he's just able to chuck them off or attack them. He starts calling in his guys to help him out, Big Ryck.
Yeah.
One of them just straight up the ladder, but Johnny and Puma tip it, so he falls off and falls to the outside.
Yeah, I did like how Big Ryck just seemed to be directing traffic. And he's just like, you guys go up and get it for me, and I'll just...
Yep, I'll keep everyone else at bay. And, you look at him, it's the logical thing to do.
Absolutely.
It makes complete sense. I like the fact that he's this massive guy, but he comes across as smart. He comes across like he's running the show. It's an awful lot of times the really big guys in wrestling are played off as being idiots.
Yep.
Vampiro starts really turning on Johnny. He walks the ladder, leaps off, lands on the outside of the ring, and Vampiro's calling Johnny an addict to the applause. I think, do we see Danny Trejo in the crowd? Yeah.
Yeah, they keep referring to him as Machete.
Yeah.
He's loving life, Danny Trejo,
Yeah.
in this episode and the next one. He's just loving it.
He's in his element here. Puma dives through two of the bits on the ladder. That was great.
That was cool, eh?
I don't know how do you do that? Like, obviously, firstly, you have to fit, and he does, but like, the timing to get through.
That's exactly what the fact that because Johnny Mundo's standing in front of it, so you've 100% no idea. Pure trust in everybody that's involved in that.
Yep.
Really impressive. Really impressive. I like
that. We get Johnny and Puma fighting on the ladder, and then there's a big move executed off the top. I can't think who it actually was that did it on the other, but they're both down. Big Ryck, he's getting in the ring now. He's going to pick up the scraps here. We get Johnny chucking one of the associates through a table at ringside.
Yeah.
Big Ryck's looking a wee bit knackered. It's been a long night for him.
It's quite a long match, I didn't actually, but they maybe started
it
about halfway through the episode.
Yeah. We've got Johnny taking out Puma with the ladder. End of the world by Johnny, and then a 360 by Prince Puma on Big Ryck, who's laying on a ladder.
Yep.
Ryck powerbombing Puma as he springs off the top. It's nicely done.
Is that when he does it? He power bombs him out the ring through a ladder. So is that what? That was brutal. I've seen Ricochet take bumps like that before. He does it a couple of times in this match where he takes like a back bump on the ladder. It just looks horrible.
We've got Ryck then trying to use both ladders to help himself climb up, and Johnny's starting to come to. He kicks Big Ryck in the nuts, and that's doesn't matter how big you are. That's going to have an impact.
Yeah, the great equaliser.
Johnny's now looking favourite to climb the ladder here, and then this guy runs out. He just starts attacking Johnny, and the announcers are acting like, is this a fan? Is this, who is this? What's going on here? The guy's helping Big Ryck. Ryck trying to keep Johnny out of the ring while his guys climb the ladder. Johnny springs onto the ladder from the ropes and topples over the other ladder. And that leaves him alone on the ladder in the middle of the ring, the only ladder left standing, and he's able to get the briefcase down and get that nice wad of cash from
Well done, Johnny.
Dario.
You got your money that you were owed.
We've got Dario congratulating him. He wants them to have a good business relationship and asks for his key back. Dario demands that Johnny put the key back around his neck, but Johnny knocks him down.
I thought that was a poor choice for Johnny. Good opportunity to be the bigger man.
He's got his money. Just, give the key back. Work with the guy. Maybe
he was pushing it too far, asking him to put it round his neck, but he didn't get a chance. He didn't give the man a chance to wash his hands after he'd been to the toilet earlier. So
that's true.
Come on, Johnny.
So that's us at the end of episode 7.
What do you think of this? Me personally, I thought the ladder match was tremendous, really entertaining, and I feel like I had the opportunity to go too far with spots, but it didn't for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
I enjoyed it. I thought there's obviously going to be some good eye-catching moves, which there were. I thought there was real logic in the way that Big Ryck was trying to win the match, which I thought was good. I enjoyed it. Thought it was good.
Nice.
Like you say, it's probably, I think that must have been up to this point the longest match that we'd had on any of the shows, because most of the time they've maybe given the last match sort of 7 or 8 minutes or something like that, but it was almost half the show here. But it was worth it, and it was the guys that have established themselves as the headline guys so far.
Yeah, agreed. Nice.
Oh, we're moving on to episode 8.
A unique opportunity.
Yes. Dario has invited 10 wrestlers down to the ring, and I was having a glance and I was thinking we've certainly seen most of these guys before. And we hear that there will be another match later on tonight featuring another 10 wrestlers, and the winners of each of these matches are going to have a unique opportunity. It's not going to be cash. I think that's said.
Mhm.
It won't be cash.
I think he said something like, "We're so much better than £100,000 or something like that."
Yeah.
I was like, have we really seen 20 wrestlers? I wondered if we're getting anybody new, but
I think we
it
had
must have been
seen them all
pushing it
before.
to like,
Yeah. Here's everyone we've got.
Aye.
So, this match is a bit of a struggle. I'll go through it as best as I can, but this isn't even like an elimination. This is first pin is gonna win this match.
That's mental when he said that.
So you're like you're looking at 10 guys, and you're also the vast majority working a lucha style. So there's just stuff happening.
Yeah.
Now, quite often they do have it where it's 2 guys in the center of the ring, and there's stuff going on elsewhere.
Yep.
Sometimes outside, sometimes in the corners and things like that. But it's incredibly difficult to keep track of what's actually going on. This I think was my first. Oh no. I can't say I enjoyed this match all that much.
It reminded me a bit of some of those TNA X Division matches that they used to kick off the Bound for Glories with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Kevin Nash on commentary just tearing the whole thing to pieces while claiming to be the king of the X Division and all that. Yeah. A hell of a lot going on. We've got moments where Prince Puma's putting on a bit of a show, and he and Fenix are doing some crazy shit. It's all just a bit too chaotic for me. There's so many guys in that every time, and I don't mind the logic of this, but every time somebody goes for a cover or anything like that, there's somebody else there that's able to stop it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not elimination; it's first pin, so you can't let anyone get a pinfall on anyone. We see some moves from Pentagon Jr., who's also in this one. I think he hits a muscle buster on somebody at one point.
It's the Mariachi Loco, that package pile driver type thing, but it's like a running when he does it. Just looks brutal.
Yeah. Big Ryck is in this, and we've got like everyone just starts landing kicks on him. And we get Puma hitting a 450 splash on Ryck, but Fenix is right there to fight him off, and then modified pile driver by Fenix on Puma, and Fenix gets the win, which I wasn't expecting. That took me by surprise.
Yeah, me too. That finisher movie did on Puma was like that thing that Scott Steiner used to do, where he had them up in a suplex and like just dropped them vertically onto their head.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that. Bit scared of that one.
Yeah. So we know Fenix is the winner of match 1 and is going to be one of the guys that have the opportunity. Get the opportunity for the unique opportunity, I think. We've got, just after the match, Conan tearing into Prince Puma for letting the match and the opportunity get away from him. He's like threatening to walk away if Puma doesn't start listening to him and doing basically everything he says. A little bit of a sort of abusive relationship vibes now coming out in this.
Yeah. He's never going to walk away from him, but he is going to push him away. Because he's his meal ticket. I think Vampiro even said that at one point. But at some point, the kid's going to snap, I think. I think that's what we're maybe building to. I really quite like it.
And
we're still doing this sort of bright-eyed, starry-eyed kid thing with Prince Puma, which is great. He doesn't speak either, which is great for Ricochet, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I don't. He's obviously ridiculously athletic and impressive in that sense, but I don't ever remember seeing him deliver a promo.
He's been doing a lot of it since he went over to AEW.
Is he?
A lot of sort of corny heel type stuff, which can be entertaining. But for this character, it all really works. That sort of quiet, head down, sort of stuff.
We have our second 10 10-person match, and it's going to be...
Hold on.
Oh.
You've missed the cage segment where he's throwing sledgehammers about the place and looking incredibly jacked. Sorry,
My bad. Sorry.
Very excited by the way that he was throwing the tyres about. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. We're going into our second 10-person match, which at least this time is going to be a battle royal. So we have 10 people starting in the ring, and then you just chuck the rest out. That's okay. That's something I can deal with a little bit easier than the first match.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I thought. Especially your brain's programmed to think, you see all these guys stand in the ring, we're getting a battle royal.
Yeah.
That's what I thought at first match. And then they said about pinfall, and I was like, wow, how are you going to get a pinfall?
Yeah.
With 8 other guys.
So Sexy Starr is in this, and right from the start, she's basically asking everyone to back off of Chavo because she wants to get to Chavo. This guy, Famous B, right? You don't have famous in your name and just be,
Shit.
a jobber. I mean, I'd hate to meet just B if this is Famous B.
Amazing. Aspie. They described him as a local indie legend or something like that, like a local indie favourite or something.
He's out even before everyone's standing back and letting Sexy Starr fight Chavo. But it's Chavo who ends up eliminating Sexy Starr, which
some of that
I quite liked.
Before that, Pimpinella got going a little bit and was doing a bit of showboating and all that sort of stuff. And just as they were sort of starting, doing all their sort of fancy dancing, that Sexy Stars came across and they fucking rattled them. It was brilliant. I was like, oh, nice. That's gained a wee bit back with me from Sexy Star there.
Nice. We've got Johnny Mundo in this match, and he's doing his best Shawn Michaels impression through
How many times?
Yeah, loves it. We have various eliminations. We get down to what is a final 3 of Muertes, Chavo, and Johnny.
Yeah.
Katarina's getting involved, but she doesn't mean to. She's really just an innocent bystander. Johnny ends up crotching Chavo on the top rope, and then Johnny gives him a flying kick to eliminate Chavo. Big spear by Muertes on Johnny, the final 2 going at it here. They're fighting on the apron. Big head kick by Johnny, and then he misses his next move. Muertes, big clothesline to Johnny over the top and out.
Great.
So Mil Muertes, the winner of the second multi-person match.
Really happy that they spotlighted other people here, and what I mean is it's not just the same. It's no Puma and Mundo and Big Ryck.
I was fully expecting either Puma or Big Ryck to win match 1 and Johnny Mundo to win match 2. It didn't go that way at all, which, as you say, is good.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, we've got both men in the ring, so both multi-person match winners, and there is a Lucha Underground Championship. So we've got to this stage. There hasn't been a title anyone's been fighting for so far. It's more been, pride and personal issues and stuff like that, which I did quite like. So I wasn't sure how I felt about this having a title, because it feels like it's creeping towards every other wrestling promotion that we've seen. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that?
I thought it was inevitable we get at some point. Mm-hmm. I liked that they were fighting for money. I liked, like you said, that they've been fighting personal issues and all that, but I suppose it's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think one belt is fine. Mm-hmm. I think one person win the belt and the rest chasing sounds quite cool, given the sort of enclosed atmosphere and the type of show that it is. It has potential, I think. And I think there's, I don't think you're going to get like a Roman Reigns type situation where there's one champion and so he's fought him and he beat him, so then next he's going to fight him and beat him. I don't see that happening, so I'm not massively concerned about it.
I'm hoping there aren't an influx of other titles, like you say, one title.
Tag titles
because there hasn't been anything to do. There's been I think Chavo and Pentagon against Sexy Starr and Fenix.
Mhm.
I think that's the only tag match we've maybe seen.
Yeah, but
Certainly
like a
not been frequent.
mixed gender one. Nah.
Yeah.
And it does fit, and the way that they framed it is like, I've opened my temple and all the best fighters can come here and show that they're the best, and it makes sense for that point of view to have a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can rest easy. I think.
Mm-hmm. So I was assuming at first, Fenix and Muertes just going to fight for this.
Fight for the title, yeah.
But no. It's not as simple as that. There is going to be a match called Aztec Warfare.
Amazing.
And the winner of this match will have the opportunity to enter that match last.
Yes.
Which gives them an advantage in the Aztec Warfare match. Now, I think we're told it's a 20-man, very inventive match.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, because I was thinking entering last, we've had Elimination Chamber and things like that, but 20 guys is too many guys for going down that kind of route, I would think. And, you sort of think maybe gauntlet match type things where you have to fight through, each opponent as they come out in order. Obviously, it would be an advantage to come out last in that kind of environment. But yeah, I'm not sure. You got any insight? Or
no insight. I think you play right with the gauntlet. They've just done a 10-man match, 2 10-man matches, one a pin, one a battle royal type situation, so you can't see it being either of those. I can't see it being a Royal Rumble type situation.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right with the gauntlet, and they maybe just frame it as anything goes, all that sort of stuff, and maybe we get that for a full episode. I think, is it in like 3 episodes time or something like that? We get the Aztec Warfare, they said.
So it's incredibly high stakes, because not only does the winner enter that match at number 20, the loser of this match is going to enter that at number 1.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a guy that just fought off 10 others. And
how harsh is that?
It's really harsh, but it's high stakes. High stakes.
It is. And I just sort of thinking, like, there's no way Fenix in a workhorse match, Fenix is not going to be coming out last.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, it did feel at the start of this, once everything was explained to you, you got a feeling about the way this match might go. So yeah, they're telling a story here. Both these guys are fatigued, and Fenix, Mil Muertes has only just finished his multi-person match. We've got, again, Katarina is at times just like, doing little trips on the outside and giving people a wee punch when they're by the ropes and things like that.
Very just, loyal term.
Oh yeah. Just it's what you would expect. We get a big spear by Mil Muertes. Running power slam by Mil. I was giving me British Bulldog vibes.
Same. Brilliant.
Yeah. Nice. Fenix is kind of being the underdog here. He's a lot smaller, and he's just trying to keep surviving, try to keep fighting back. Comes off the top rope, but he just eats a massive forearm by Mil, and then Mil Muertes hits the flatliner. So he is the winner, and he is going to get the advantage of entering at number 20 in Aztec Warfare.
Brilliant.
I think so. Katarina gets her lick, and then we get Dario. He's got the belt, and he's looking absolutely delighted with it. I think he's talking about how much it cost or something like that, how expensive it was, and he's talking to someone, but you don't see who he's talking to.
I switched it off when the match finished. I didn't see this.
So he's speaking to someone about this belt, which he's really happy with, and he's talking about how, this is now the match set and stuff like that. It never pans for you to see who he's talking to, but it looks like he's in a prison.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. You got to stick with these till the end.
I think I love this show. Oh, amazing. He was in a prison.
Yeah, that's certainly what it looked like. Now, it didn't show you an awful lot of it, but you could see bars.
Could that be what the key's for a cell?
Could well be, yeah. So he's maybe got somebody locked away that he is thinking, I'm going to unlock this.
Like
They're
a
going to
pet,
go into
pet type situation, like a Frankenstein's monster type
Maybe.
situation.
And maybe they're going to be in the Aztec warfare. Maybe.
I really, well,
kind of hope not. I hope this drags on a bit longer.
No, I was going to say I really want Mil Muertes to be the first champion. And they've obviously set him up to be in a good position for that. I suppose it all depends on what Aztec Warfare is.
As long as it's not like, when the Big Show comes out at the Rumble at number 30 and, I should have every advantage in being possible to beat, but he always gets beat.
Yeah. I assume maybe some of the next episodes. So if they're saying in 3 episodes, then we'll definitely get that in our next viewing.
Yep.
I wonder if some of our next matches will be like sort of qualifiers or something like that. It's maybe a bit too standard for the Lucha Underground. Qualifiers to decide where they start and all that. I suppose it depends on what the match is. Do we want to look up to see what the format is, or do we want to just wait?
I think we want to just wait.
I think so too.
Want this all to take us nicely by surprise.
Nice. Okay.
So I enjoyed the finale, and I didn't mind the Battle Royal match, but the first multi-person match, that was a bit tough going. That one.
Too much.
Yeah. But I still have no hesitation about keeping going. You're enjoying it as well.
Love it.
Excellent.
Love it. I just need to relax on the Football Manager. It's just sometimes just taking over things a wee bit. Just getting in the way. I need to prioritise my extracurricular activities.
I think certainly for this last one, I did 2 episodes, then 2 episodes. So it's like an hour and a half at a time, different days. I've quite enjoyed doing it that way. That's working for me.
Do you think 4 is the sweet spot?
I think it is. I think it's about right, because it's about 3 hours worth of wrestling. So certainly for me, for now, it feels about right.
Okay, excellent, cool. Do you want to chat any about the Rumble or anything?
We can
any
do.
More?
Yeah.
I did. The only thing I've watched from it is the men's Rumble. What was Motor City Machine Guns match like?
That was quite good fun. I liked some of the stuff DIY were doing in it. There's actually because it's a best of 3 falls match, and there's a couple of really clever moments in it by DIY, which I was quite enjoying. Motor City Machine Guns, it's funny because we obviously watched them in TNA, and it's a while ago and they've aged, but they're still doing all the same stuff.
Nice.
It's and it doesn't come across like when you're trying to watch the Rock and Roll Express do all their same movies. It didn't come across like that. So
right.
Yeah, it was
What's the crowd reaction like to them?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
was it?
Yeah, and maybe I think during the match DIY helped a bit by their heel tendencies during it. Which they're pretty effective at, actually. They know what they're doing to get a reaction.
Who won that one?
DIY.
Did they?
2-1. Yeah.
Nice. Women's Rumble. I know Charlotte returned.
Yeah, it was okay. It had some good moments, had some not so good moments. There were some because I don't watch every week, I could tell there were some moments of alliance and some moments of backstabbing and stuff like that. So it was entertaining enough. Yeah.
Because obviously I feel like with the women's Rumbles, they've sort of leaned on older stars coming back. Mm-hmm. Did I read Trish Stratus? Was it?
Yeah, so she was the only one that I don't know. It was her and one of the Bellas were the only ones that I thought, oh, they're definitely not. Not on every week. I think everyone else was actively either in WWE or TNA.
Right. Oh, it was Jordan Grace, wasn't it? Wasn't she? I saw her doing some mental to Piper Niven.
Mm-hmm.
She's just unbelievably muscly.
Yeah.
Cody KO, was that a good? That was a ladder match, wasn't it? Was that a good match?
Yeah, it was decent, but the bump at the end is horrendous. That
The
Owens
Alabama
takes,
Slam.
yeah, onto a ladder and his head. It looked like you have to bang your head when you're doing that because the nature of the way your body's going. But I don't think they would. But if they were going to be starting on a Cody heel turn, it would have been a good starting point.
Right.
But I know, he's a huge merch seller and all that, and he's the guy. He's still kind of the face of it all. But it was the way he wasn't really showing any remorse
Right.
about anything. And Sami Zayn was there and being like, he's hurt, and stuff like that. And
Was Sammy there the whole match? Like, was he in somebody's corner?
I think he maybe just came out at the end after the bump, I
Right.
think. But it was a decent enough match.
And obviously I saw the men's rumble, which I enjoyed. It's very difficult. How bad is current music? The entrance themes?
Yeah,
they're so generic. You don't know who anybody is.
Yeah, it's not like it. And also, I didn't know if it was something to do with the audio on the show, but a lot of it seemed quite muffled. Like it wasn't coming through very clearly. But yes, it's not like back in the day. You wouldn't buy a CD of current entrance music.
Absolutely not. Even somebody like Roman Reigns' music is. It takes that long to get going. That it's like.
Yeah.
I also, this is such a silly little thing to moan about, but the length of the ramp for a Royal Rumble seems odd to me.
It was really, really long. Yeah.
I suppose a stadium show, then that's inevitable, but it just seems a bit odd. Sometimes by the time certainly Punk got in the ring and stared down with Cena and Reigns, and they'd obviously done it that Rollins' music was going to interrupt them, but it was just like he got in the ring and then the countdown was on again.
Yeah. I thought it was an okay Rumble. I thought like the end got me. Like I
didn't see it coming.
I just assumed that Cena was going to win it, and then I was listening to Kevin Nash's podcast, which he'd recorded before the Rumble, and his co-host saying to him, "So it's Cena, right? It's going to be Cena's Rumble because he's on his farewell tour." And he was like, "No, not yet.
Too early.
You don't have him win it yet. You have him win it on his very last opportunity to do it, to get himself in a title match. You don't have him just win the first opportunity." And I thought, I kind of get where he's coming from there. I think he backed Punk though, which didn't pan out that way.
He did a lot of build up with Punk. He did did he do it? He did a face-to-face with... He definitely did a face-to-face with Cody. He did a face-to-face with Kevin Owens, the SmackDown before it, and said, like, if you're the champion, I'm coming for you. I think they obviously did that to build it up to make you think, but I didn't see Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble.
No, and see when it was just the two of them and they were battling on the apron, I thought Cena was kind of doing the slightly over the top leg going all the way out, and he's holding on the ropes. I thought, imagine he fucked this up, and he just. And in my mind, he was still clearly going to win. But
I did appreciate the way that Cena just sort of jumped down when he knocked him down. He didn't make it a theatrical fall to the floor. He just jumped down and he's like, oh damn.
It seemed to be. I saw a clip of a press thing where he was saying the words "best for business" a lot, Cena, and I did wonder if they're going to go in a slightly obsessive way for his farewell tour. Because he was saying stuff like, "I am going to enter the Elimination Chamber. I am going to win it, and I'm going to go on and win my 17th title because that's what's best for business," and stuff like that. And he's talking about the fact that he's come back at various points in time to help other people, to help elevate other people, but that's not what's best for business now. What's best for business is me winning a 17th title. And I thought, are they just switching it a little bit where he's going to go a bit obsessive about it?
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds quite un-Cena-like.
It does. I mean, it's not like he went full heel in it or anything. He just seemed, when he'd done his promo saying, I'm going to enter the Rumble, and maybe, whereas now it was, I have to, get this last opportunity. So, yeah, interesting.
And surprise-wise, we only really got, like, obviously, we come from the generation that's like Jimmy Snuka appears in the Rumble like 20 years past his prime, and Drew Carey and all that sort of stuff. We only really got was Joe Hendry about the only. I think AJ Styles was probably a surprise.
Who was the little guy that got speared onto another planet?
Speed, yes.
Yeah, I don't really know who. I've heard the name. I don't really know who he is.
I think he's a YouTuber or a streamer or something, but that was unbelievable. Hey, I've seen anything like that before, I don't think. Certainly with a celebrity.
If I'm him, there's no way I'm taking that. That's like a steam train coming at you.
When he's celebrating or whatever it is, he does a backflip and all that, and you see Braun running the ropes. It's unbelievable how fast he's going.
It's a terrifying guy. I thought that they were doing a bit to, I think, try and elevate Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly putting him over. Was it those two? Did those two come face to face? And it seemed like the crowd wanted that.
In the Rumble?
Yeah, I think they came face to face, and it was really fleeting, but it looked like the crowd were like, "Yep, I want to see that match."
He's started cutting promos on telly and stuff like that now, and he's just like a natural.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, they've been holding him back with it because all he was doing was that "I love you" solo and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and he'll be main eventing.
Yeah,
I'm sure this year.
It kind of feels like I can't miss, to be honest. Yeah,
I liked when Hendry was in and doing all his stuff, and Sheamus was like to Jacob Fatu, he's like, "Hey, I was enjoying that.
Yeah.
What'd you do that for?"
Yeah, it was good.
Sheamus was like do the clapping and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that too.
No bad. You think it'd be Jey Uso, Gunther?
I think so. I'd just be surprised if they went babyface for the other title.
Against Cody. I wonder if they do. I wonder if they do a multiple match for one of the titles and on a 1v1 for the other.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, it's not obviously Jey Uso's over, like with the crowd from what you were telling me. It wouldn't surprise me if he's going Gunther if they ended up adding something else to the match. And I suppose alternatively, depending on who it is, because I'm assuming the Kevin Owens challenge to Cody will be finished by the time we get to Rumble time. So
Owens seems to get used that way, doesn't he? It's not the first time he's done that.
So what I don't know is if you're not going down Roman Reigns route because he looks to be paired certainly with Rollins and maybe with Punk as well for the run to Mania, and if you're not going down a Punk route for the same reason and you're not going down a Cena route, then where do you go for
and the way that McIntyre was eliminated, you kind of get the feeling that he's like the odd one out almost.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where they'll go for their main event matches, but I suppose there's probably a few twists and turns to come before we get there.
True. I could see. I would like. I think Cody and Cena sounds right, and especially with that intensity that you're talking about from both of them, you could. I think you could work face v face there and blur the lines a little bit, and I think in a sort of Rock Hogan type way, if you're thinking that Cena's going to get the crowd, and Cody plays into that, and
yeah, that could work. Yeah,
but I suppose you just have to be aware that you're only going to have Cena for the year, and it needs to work going forward.
I did wonder if, like, say Cena doesn't win the Elimination Chamber, and then it's almost like I'm going to just try and take over, like the way Daniel Bryan did to get his title push and that kind of thing. I'm just going to make it happen. I'm going to get the crowd with me and, kind of do it that way. Because, the way Cody ended up in the title match at the last Mania, which apparently wasn't the plan for a while and stuff like that, if they could lean into that and have Cena being like, well, plans change, I'm here to make it change, that kind of thing.
Like, I've done all this for the company, they owe me.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. I don't think it's Cena win the Elimination Chamber. I think what Nash is saying is probably right.
Yeah, and you do kind of, because you think of WrestleMania as the culmination, but it's not the end for Cena, is it? It's the end of the year basically, or towards the end of the year. So no doubt there could be some crowning moment for him before the year ends if it doesn't end up being a Mania one.
Yeah, you've got Money in the Bank. I think is the pay-per-view after Mania.
Right.
He fails to he either fails to get into the main event and he wants to do that, or he fails at Mania and he needs to do that. It's a potentially compelling story, but you can't turn him heel, and they won't turn him.
No, not certainly not full heel. No, can't. They just wouldn't do it on a retirement run.
Nah, it would be pretty ballsy though. Pretty cool. Oh well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I tell you, it's not a patch on the temple though. So
no,
you can have your 70,000 people and your. That's okay. I show speed, but
I mean, I'm going to watch four episodes of the Temple in the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to watch any episodes of Raw or SmackDown.
There you go.
Yeah,
you are contractually required to watch some.
Yeah,
there is that. Well, we're all excited for the debut of Cage, and we'll be here for it. And by this time in 2 weeks, we'll be full to the gut with Aztec Warfare.
Nice.
And have a new Lucha Underground champion.
Very good.
Awesome. Right, well, take it easy for the next 2 weeks and we'll chat again then.
Yep.
Cool. Nice one. Cheers now.
Cheers.